Plaintiff Christine McAllister says the defendant is her daughter, and they used to have a good relationship until the defendant's ex-boyfriend and her witness interfered in their relationship. Christine says she hasn't even spoken to her daughter in 4 months, and she's suing her today for the value of a car. Defendant Kaylee Thompson says she and her mother were never close because when she was a teenager, her mother was addicted to crystal meth. Kaylee claims she was the one who had to cook and clean, and she even had to remind her mother to pay the bills. Kaylee denies owing her mother for the vehicle.
Tell me what happened.
I'm here to try and fight for... I'm sorry. It's the first time I've seen her in 4 months, so I'm a little emotional and I apologize. We used to have a really good relationship until her ex-boyfriend and Summer got involved.
I'm sorry,
Since
Your Honor.
then-
Ex-boyfriend and who?
Summer, the lady sitting there with her.
Got involved in what?
Into
Her life?
Her life, our relationship.
I'm sorry, Your Honor, but that's not true.
All right, well, let her tell me, and then I'll allow you to respond before we get to the car that you're suing about.
I used to talk to my daughter 4 or 5 times a day. Go over and see her 2 or 3 times a week. I had my grandson almost every weekend, if not every other weekend, and a couple of nights throughout the week. I don't have any of that right now. Nothing. I can't see my grandson. I can't
Why?
even talk to her.
Why?
She refuses. I can't get an
Did
answer.
you ever bother to ask?
I asked her a couple of times.
And she just stared at you and didn't say a word.
Well, it was with her and her friend Summer at Summer's house.
And they didn't say a word.
Summer did. Summer did most of the
What
talking.
did Summer tell you?
The only thing Summer said is that she was upset.
About
because
what?
She had found out she was pregnant with her second child.
Young lady, what do you want to tell me about you and your mother's relationship?
First of all, me and my mom never had the greatest relationship from the beginning.
You didn't talk 5 times a day
No,
and see her 3 times a week?
no. I never really had the greatest teenage life. She did get hooked on meth, and I ended up having to be the one to cook food, clean the
Well, I thought you was
house.
about to say cook the meth. Oh, okay.
I was
Your
the one that
Honor.
had to prepare the food and make sure it was cooked and keep up with the house, and I had to repeatedly remind her to pay bills so we wouldn't go without utilities or
Your
get
Honor.
shut off.
Yes.
I will admit that there was a 2-year period where I was on drugs. I will admit that. It was 2 years. She was 16 at the time. Granted, it wasn't a good age. It wasn't something I'd done. I have been clean and sober for over 8 years.
Good.
It was because of a bad marriage. I'm divorced
Bad
now.
marriage, you tried to cover the pain with drugs.
Right.
People try always to understand how people become drug addicts and why there are so many drug addicts in impoverished neighborhoods. And that's why they're in pain. If you're poor and you can't afford to feed your kids, it's painful to you. And to drown out the pain, you go to alcohol and the drugs. You were going through a divorce, it was painful to you. You became a drug addict.
I did.
Like many others, particularly in the inner cities, when they're suffering from discrimination, suffering from poverty, suffering from all type of anguish in their mind, they go to drugs and become drug addicts, just like suburban housewives become drug addicts.
Defendant Kaylee Thompson says the plaintiff is her mother, and she claims when she was a teenager, her mother was addicted to crystal meth.
What else do you want to tell me?
I found out I was pregnant with my first child when I was 18, and I had him when I was 19.
How was your
After-
relationship then?
It still wasn't good.
All right. Did it ever turn good?
Yes.
The only time we actually got along was when me and the father of my son weren't together.
Let's get to the cost of the car, or why you are suing her regarding this car.
When her and her ex-boyfriend split up the last time, they did each have their own vehicle. When they split up, he took off with both vehicles. I told her, I said, I will help you get a vehicle. You will pay me back. She was okay with that.
And what was the repayment agreement?
The repayment agreement was going to be about $150, $200 a month.
Beginning when?
Beginning the middle of February and beginning of March.
All right. And so did she begin making any payments?
No.
Never made one payment?
No.
What were you saying to her afterwards about not paying the bill?
Oh, the only response I would get from her was to meet me at the license bureau and sign off on the title. No payment or nothing.
All right, young lady, you tell me about the car.
The car, she brought up the car to buy me a car for Christmas, for a gift, to help me get back up on my feet.
What month was the car purchased?
It was December.
It was purchased
2009.
December 17th. It was not a gift. Her gift
Go
was
ahead.
It was a
200
gift.
Quiet, ma'am. Go ahead.
She told me she was going to get it for me as a gift. She would constantly joke around with me, telling me how she was going to keep it till Christmas morning, till me and my son came over to her house, and it would be parked on the side of the street with a big red bow on it.
Did she do that?
No, she didn't. I ended up getting the car 2 weeks before Christmas so I could go out and get a job. I actually have witness statements saying that she bought the car as a gift, and Summer can account.
Who are the witnesses?
Summer, she is my friend that I live with.
Who else? You say you have statements.
I have a statement from Summer's husband, but he isn't here.
Okay, come
Here.
on up, ma'am. State your name.
My name is Summer.
How do you know it was a gift?
I was actually there the night we went and looked at the car, Your Honor.
You were with the two of
With
them?
these two, yes, sir.
Was she with you all when you went to
When we
purchase?
went to look at it, yes,
All right,
when
go
I
ahead.
first found the vehicle.
The night we went and looked at the car, we went to the back of the lot because it was on the back, and she actually told Kaylee when we were looking at it, she goes, "Oh no, Kaylee, you just look at it because this is not my car. This is your car. It's your car. I don't need to see it."
No,
she
I didn't
actually
say that,
asked us
Summer.
and asked me to take her the next day to test drive it, and she
No,
didn't want to
you
go
offered
along.
to have your husband come back
Quiet,
with
ma'am.
She didn't want to
Kaylee.
go along because she said she didn't need to test drive it. This was her car. So we went and test drove it. And then she asked if I would have my husband, who's a mechanic, go look at it and make sure it was mechanically sound before she bought this car for Kaylee. My husband did. And then the next thing I know, I got a text saying, "Oh, my mom bought my
All
car."
right, but everything you said doesn't distinguish it as a gift or
That's what
an
she constantly
advanced
said.
purchase.
I'm
Pardon
buying.
me?
She had told me she was buying it.
That
This is
doesn't mean
Kaylee's
it's
car.
a gift. It means I'm buying it and she'll have to pay me for it. It could be one or the other. How much was the car?
$2,800.
Yeah, that's not much of a car to be getting someone in advance. That sounds like a gift. You have any evidence, ma'am? Any
What I
evidence
have-
that shows
I do
me
have-
that she agreed to pay
No, I
the
have
car
nothing.
back?
It was my daughter. I didn't think I had to have any paperwork or anything
Well,
saying
you
she needed
said
to pay
that
me
she
back.
was to begin paying you when?
In February.
Have you spoken to your mother since February?
No, but we actually haven't.
No, I'm not talking about
No,
your mother.
I have
I'm
not.
not talking about your mother. I don't know anything about your mother. I'm asking about your mother. Have you spoken to your mother?
I haven't spoken to my mother since January.
Why?
She came out to Summer's house acting crazy, trying
About
to
what?
take the car.
Why?
Because I recently found out that I was pregnant again with my second child, and it was with the father of my first one, and she doesn't like him. She told me that she wanted the title, the registration, and the insurance card she had so she could go get her name taken off the title, and my name would be the only one on there.
Ma'am?
No.
There was never an attempt to do that.
No, I
You
went
went to-
out there. I called her earlier that evening, told her I'd spoke to the local Chrysler company. There was something wrong with the lock on the driver's side car, and I wanted to get a second key made for the car. I'm coming out here. She was okay with it.
Why
When
would
I
you-
got out there, though, it went absolutely nuts. She started screaming and yelling. I wasn't taking the car, and I'm like, I'm not taking it permanently. The driver's side door didn't
I'll
lock
let her say
properly.
something.
She did come out to the house. She did call me. The only thing that I asked her if she was going to take the car from the tone in her voice and the way she was acting towards me on the phone. She told me no.
Defendant Kaylee Thompson says the plaintiff is her mother, and she claims when she was a teenager, her mother was addicted to crystal meth.
You said all this happened because she was mad about your boyfriend. When did that happen? You and your boyfriend issue, and she found out about it.
December 29th.
And when did she come for the car?
She came out to my house and had a talk with Kaylee and I, and that's the point where she wanted Kaylee to give up the baby or choose an alternative.
When was that?
That
2
was
weeks prior.
1 week before the case where she came out to my house and was trespassing, and I had to ask them to be removed from the cops.
The next
You
time
were asked to leave?
we were escorted out by the police.
Anyone have a police report?
Yes, sir.
I
we
have
do.
a police report right here.
Why are you all going to have me going through all of this about who did what, and you have a police report where somebody told the police something? Ms. Thompson stated that her mother showed up to take the car and start yelling and screaming at her to give her the keys. That's an unusual way to help somebody get their car fixed.
It didn't happen like that, Your Honor, when I got out there.
And what did you tell the police when she said that?
I told them I came out there to pick up the vehicle to take it in for repairs the next morning, and Kaylee and Summer's husband, Chris, came out. Chris was stood behind the vehicle. Kaylee was there yelling at me, screaming I wasn't taking the car, and I'm like, why? I'm going to go in and get it repaired. What's going on? Before anything else could happen, Summer came out, started threatening to beat me up, and then I needed to why?
Beat you up, why?
Because, I don't know. The only thing I could get out of her was because a mother doesn't do this to their child. And I'm like, well, what am I doing?
You know why. Don't act like you don't know why she threatened to beat you up. She threatened to beat you up because just like you and she told the police, you came there to get the car. I don't know how the police would end up coming and escorting you out if all your daughter said to you is, I don't want you to take my car and get it fixed. Your claim is dismissed. I do not believe it happened like that. I believe, as the police report indicates, that you came to get that car. She told you no. You got upset, and the police had to be called and escort you out. Have a good day.
I'm really disappointed in you.
That's fine. I'm done with her. I do not want anything more to do with her.
Have a good life. I'm really sorry you did this.